What are some initial thoughts from that first half of action?
Well, the offense is still looking efficient. Carry over from the game, last Friday night, taking care of the football. Just like I said we needed to do. They've done that so far. We've looked exceptional. Of course, had a little help from our defense with the pick six to add another score onto the game. But all in all, even on the defensive side of the ball, a well-rounded, very well-played first half by the Bearcats.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm sure Coach Christ is very happy with what has happened so far tonight for the Bearcats. Now the question is what it's always been. Can the Bearcats play 4 quarters of football? We've seen 3 really be the most. Right now we've played 2 solid quarters, a solid half of action in tonight's ballgame. Let's take a look at the first half scoring summary. We got going early in the ballgame. 2 scores and a touchdown as Jamie Lathrop connected on a 35-yard touchdown to Hunter Wright from, again, 35 yards out. That was with about 40 seconds into the ball game. 7-0 Cats took the lead. Then Jamie, after a 3-and-out from Wise on an 8-yard touchdown pass to Austin Davidson to make it 13-0 as Ratcliffe's extra point was partially blocked. That was at the 8:56 mark. Wise would answer and go on a 5.5-minute drive. Down to 3:51 in the quarter. They connected on a touchdown from 2 yards out. C.J. Crabtree ran for his second touchdown of the year, the sophomore for Wise Central. That cut it back to 13-7. Then in the second quarter is when the Cats started to separate a bit. 11:10 to go. They went on a drive, ending with a Lathrop to Hunter Wright TD from 13 yards out and made it 20-7 at that point. That was a 4th down and about 3. They went with the tougher decision there. They went with the fade route in the back of the end zone. Like you said, it was identical really to that play call after Rose had left the game, in the first half of the ball game last week. We threw it, and then it looked like the same play that got intercepted against Tennessee High, but that time on the connection. That was Wright's second touchdown of the first half. And then after that, Wise looked like they were going to put together a bit of a drive, got out past the 50 before Austin Davidson took it to the house on an interception, jumped in front of a pass, took it 60 yards for 6. The extra point was good, 27-7. The Cats led at the 7:59 mark, and that's the way the game stayed from there on as we headed into the locker rooms for the half at 27-7. Homecoming court being announced here at Gene Malcolm at the moment. A couple of football players have made that group. I see Austin Davidson out there. Good first half for him. Now he's could have a really good night, couldn't he, if he ends up winning the homecoming as well. So, but 27-7, that is your score recap. And like Travis said, this offense looks sharp, and really they didn't really have a chance to do much over the final 8 minutes of the quarter until they got it with that about 30 seconds left.
Yeah, that was it. We had those couple drives there in the first quarter, all resulting in points except for the one. And then, didn't see the ball much in that second quarter as the defense took care of business. They returned the interception, back for the touchdown, and then Wise Central put together a couple of pretty good drives, but Bearcat defense hanging tough and keeping them from cashing in.
Wise Central will get the ball to open the second quarter of action here from Gene Malcolm. So, Travis, we had our Saturday look ahead. Of course, we're still going to stick with that, but our Saturday locally has basically been wrecked schedule-wise as far as, with UTEP and Tennessee. They're still going to play that football game. Methodist at Emory and Henry, that game canceled due to Hurricane Florence. East Carolina, Virginia Tech postponed. West Virginia, North Carolina State and Raleigh, that one was postponed. Appalachian hosting Southern Miss, that one was postponed. You had an interesting tidbit there about that Appalachian Southern Miss postponement.
Yeah, that's the second time that this game has been canceled. This is supposed to be the return game from a home and home between the two schools. It actually started when Appalachian went to Hattiesburg in 2014. They lost to the Eagles by a point, 21-20 on a missed extra point. Appalachian scores with 6 seconds left and not able to convert on the extra point. So Southern Miss gets the win. So the return trip was supposed to be the following season in 2015. Gulf Coast Hurricane prevented Southern Miss from being able to make the trip. So the first open date in the schedule was all the way here now in 2018. We've got the same situation again. So who knows if they'll ever get this game played. It would have been Appalachian's second week in a row playing a Conference USA team, picking up the win over Charlotte in convincing fashion last Saturday night. But Yeah, that's not happening. Like you mentioned, the ETSU VMI game, it's still going to go on, but it's been moved up. They will now play at 2:30 tomorrow. First Southern Conference game of the season for East Tennessee State. First home game of the 2018 season for the VMI Cadets. VMI has taken a beat in the first 2 weeks of the season. They lost in week 1 on the road at Toledo 66-3, and then they had their conference opener last week to Wofford in South Carolina. They got beat there 59-14. Do you know VMI has now lost 19 straight football games since the last time they hosted ETSU in Lexington, October 2016. VMI won that game 37-7, so they're hoping to revive a little bit of that magic tomorrow.
You were talking about rough stretches. That's a pretty rough stretch.
Yeah, 19 games. We had another game that was originally scheduled for tonight, and they're still playing it, Boston College and Wake Forest down in Winston-Salem. That game was moved up by a couple hours, so we're already in the fourth quarter of that game. Eagles starting to stretch the lead a little bit. They're now up 34-24 on the Demon Deacs.
So that game, of course,
I took the Eagles, by the way, and you took the Deacs.
I know. Thank you for reminding everyone that. Yeah, in our pick-em this week, Travis did take the Eagles. I think most everyone else did, too. I, for some reason, have faith in Wake Forest. But a lot of big games in college football coming up. We may hit on those if we have a little bit of time left over. But let's do a Bearcat Radio rewind to last week's game in the VT game. 42-21 loss, but a valiant effort by the Bearcats in that contest. So let's do the recap, the highlights from that game, and we'll be back for more from the Bearcat halftime report brought to you by Sesco Group Insurance. We'll have stats and scores from around the area when we get back. But here is the Bearcat Radio Rewind. Welcome to Bristol, Tennessee, as the Virginia High Bearcats have made the 3-mile trip over the border to clash with the Tennessee High Vikings. Tennessee High gets set to line one up. Ryan Muncie will kick it off for the Maroon, and the ball is up in the 102nd edition of the VT game. Lathrop drops back, looking down the field. Now under pressure, rolls out to his right, comes back to Bazell, and the catch is made inside the 40. And it's another BSN Sports first down right at the sticks. Bearcat football inside Viking territory. They'll fake the handoff, go over the middle of Bradley on another slant route, and he's inside the 20, still up, down to the 15, and about 5 tacklers tried to bring him down. The 5th one got him, but he made his way down inside the 15 to the 12-yard line. What a play there, another slant route, and they just let him loose. Lathrop shotgun, he'll keep around the side, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown Cats on the read option, and the Cats are on the board 6-0, 7:43 to go. They'll fake the handoff, go over the middle. This is Davidson, slant route, breaks across over the 40. He's out near the 50, and he's brought down inside, or past the 45-yard line on another slant route. They're just eating up the Vikings there.
They were, and we had a Viking hang on. That was Reese Profit, and he drug him for about 3 or 4 extra yards on the play. Good move across that soft middle by the Vikings. Another BSN first down by the Bearcats.
2-by-2 formation. They'll do the play fake to Rose. Lathrop rolling out, being chased. He throws wide to Ratcliffe, sliding. First down Cats. They convert the 4th down at 7. What a play. The senior-to-senior hookup. And that'll move the chains for a BSN Sport first down. And Rose gets a gap inside the 20, down to the 10. He runs over a couple of Vikings down to the 8-yard line. There's the power runner. It'll be 1st and 10, though, after they got the clock figured out. 1:44 on the clock, 21-7 showing in favor of the Tennessee High Vikings. Underneath, intercepted, Austin Davidson, and he's got room to wiggle. To the 40, to the 35, down to the 30, and he's brought down by the collar at the 24-yard line. What a swing of momentum there after the pause to reset the clock. Davidson with the interception on a high pass by McBriar, and it's Bearcat football inside the 25-yard line.
Well,
Back-to-back games, he's had interceptions.
That's
too.
right, yeah, an excellent return on that. Boy, we needed it in a big way.
This time Rose, right side, gets a couple of blocks. He's inside the 10, inside the 5 as he railroads a defender down to the 4-yard line. What a run by Rose. 1st and goal from the 4-yard line, 50 seconds on the clock. Rose inside, and he's up into the end zone. Touchdown, 51 seconds on the clock, and the Cats an extra point away from making it a 7-point game. Instead, the Cats will come off with some momentum here in the VT game. You know, about a minute and a half ago, we weren't about to say that, but we put 7 on the board thanks to the late interception by Austin Davis. 4th down and 2. Cats at their own or at the Tennessee High 40-yard line. Lathrop dropping back. They're only bringing 4. Lathrop going to run for it. He's got the first down and cuts between tacklers down to the 31-yard line. We were wondering when we were going to see the scrambler show up. We hadn't seen it all year. Well, there on 4th down when we needed it the most, he gets it up to the 31. A BSN Sports first down. Got a gap going, or trucks a man down inside the 20. What a run by the freshman Stevie Thomas for the first down on 3rd down and 11. What a run.
With
that
cramping on, he dropped his shoulder into Trevor Dowdell out there to pick up a 3 or 4 extra yards. Big first down, gets us into the red zone.
So Lathrop getting the play call from the sideline. They'll go 5 wide here, empty set. 4 to the right. Rose is actually the near side slot on the right. As they'll drop back, Lathrop will looking over the middle, gets a key block, plenty of time, throws it in the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Cats. Michael Bradley all alone in the corner of the end zone, and Lathrop kind of double clutched and threw it right to him for the touchdown, and we've cut it back to an 8-point game, 28-20 with 39 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Tight formation, 2 wide to the left for the Vikings, nobody out wide to the right, and the Bearcats get in the backfield, but trying to get to the edge. A nice tackle by Rose as the Cats are fired up. A tackle for a loss of about 2 sends it back to the 10-yard line.
Just like last year, we're going to go to the fourth quarter in a 1-score game. The VT game and what should be a blowout, normally, on paper by Tennessee High. Bearcats are right here in it, and they've got momentum is all on their side as we head to the fourth quarter.
Get first down and 10, Viking football out past the 50-yard line as they call a late hit there on the Cats. McBriar is loose now, breaks a couple of tackles, and I'm not sure the Cats are going to catch him. He gets a lead block as Davidson was the only man that could get him, and McBriar's in. 47-yard touchdown run. And that will do it as the Vikings are going to win the 102nd edition. As the clock hits 0, the upset bid of the Bearcats falls short tonight, 42-21. Cats dropped their first game of the 2018 season. They're now 2-1 on the year. What are some initial thoughts? Give me some positives and some negatives to take away from this 102nd VT game.
Well, let's start out with the negatives. Well, let's go ahead and get the bad news out of the way first. You can't turn the ball over that many times against the team. A heavily favored opponent. They've got more players. They've got more kids. I mean, that's just the fact of the matter. There's more students over here on this side than on the positive side. Man, offensively, until we turned it over, we marched up and down the field without any problem. I mean, that is the most effective our offense has been probably through the first 3 games of the season. You're listening to the best high school football in the Tri-Cities on the Bearcat Sports Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Sesco Group Insurance halftime report from Gene Malcolm. Cats leading 27-7. Hope you enjoyed the highlights from last week's game against the Tennessee High Vikings. Even for as well as they played last week, they're playing even better in the first half tonight. So, Travis, we're now going to go to our regional scoreboard. What do you have for us from around the area?
Well, we can't find a score on that Patrick Henry Twin Springs game, so we're going to have to leave that one blank for now. Who knows? Maybe they're in a lightning delay just like they were last week. Could never find a score. We hit on it in the pregame a little bit that we got to see Eastside, an opponent that Wise Central had earlier in the year that Central actually beat Eastside. We got to catch the fourth quarter of that PH game because they were delayed so long. We were able to leave the Stone Castle and get all the way down to Emory to check that out. So no score there that we've got to report to you. Chilhowie at the half, they're up 25-0 on the George Wythe Rocky Maroons. That's kind of a surprise, I believe. I mean, Chilhowie's a really good team. We thought they would play exceptional, and so far they have. Who would have thought they would have held George Wythe to no points? Here's an interesting tidbit on that game. Chilhowie already with like 240 yards on the ground, just rushing the ball. George Wythe only 60 yards total offense of the game. The Blacksburg jumped out to that big 35-0 lead there early in the first quarter. Richlands has closed the gap there, 35-17. Still early in the fourth quarter, plenty of time left there. At the half, John Battle leads Lebanon 14-0. And another score here, Twin Valley up 20-6 on Northwood at the half.
So that is your regional scoreboard. Again, only 2 Southwest District teams in action tonight, Lebanon and Virginia High, both of them playing Mountain 7 teams as the Cats facing Wise Central tonight and Lebanon taking on the John Battle Trojans. 1:32 on the clock. Neither team is back out for half, so we had an extended halftime due to homecoming, but still neither team. I believe the Cats now trickling out of that locker room, and here comes Wise Central. It's, again, 27-7 the score here, and we'll go to Travis for some of those